It's a great pleasure this morning to get a chance to talk to Professor Quincy Hilliard about his work in composing and education. As we get started, could you tell us a little bit about how you got started in band? What did you play?
Okay. I started out in band playing the trumpet in fifth grade. And I guess I was inspired to be in the band. My home was right next to the school, if I remember, and there was a football team. The band practiced on the football field. And I used to just sit and watch them as they marched around and practiced and kind of hung out out there. And before you know it, when they asked me did I want to join band, I remember there was a trumpet player. I think his name was McGee. I can't remember. Always played trumpet. And I wanted to play the trumpet because I saw him do it, and it looked cool.
That's great. From that early years in band, are there any pieces that inspired you to compose?
No, not at that early level. I just enjoyed being in band. It was fun. And then we integrated in 1970. So I left Henderson High School to go to Starksville High School. And Starksville High School had one of the top bands in the state, or if not the top band in the state, because we went to Europe while I was in that band to compete. And I just love being in band.
That's great. How did you end up getting started writing then for bands?
Well, I started writing, I guess, a little bit in undergraduate school, but just in theory class. When I really got started writing for band, it was with Jared Spears, my teacher at Arkansas State University. He convinced me that I could do this. I hadn't written a lot at all. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. Not only was he a good teacher of writing for band or just writing music, period, but he was also very inspiring. He made you I wanted to write. He kept you excited. Even when you were down about your writing, he kept you excited about it, man.
That's great. What do you find to be the greatest challenge in writing for young or developing bands?
Having limited notes and limited rhythms and then trying to be creative with them. It's not hard to write a grade 6. It might be time consuming, but to write a grade 1 or grade 2 piece where you have limited notes, limited rhythm, limited ranges, those things come into play, and it takes a lot more creativity, I think, with that limited level of limited access that you have to things to do, to work with, really. I think that's part of the most difficult part of it all.
I understand, and I agree with you. Did you teach young bands before you started writing?
Not before I started writing, but right after I started. When I finished, I went straight through and got my undergraduate and my master's. So I taught between my master's and my doctorate. So at that point, I taught middle school band and high school band. So I had some idea of what can and can't be done. And then I had a composer that I worked with for my doctorate named Richard Bowes. He helped write the First Division band method book and wrote a lot of band music and was well respected. But he was a lot more practical and taught me the importance of how to write at this level. Dr. Spears inspired me, but Dr. Spears let me get away with anything. It was a lot of fun, but Mr. Bowes taught me a little bit, I guess, more discipline in my writing. And Spears taught me the creativity part of it.
That's great. How do you balance the need to be creative, or do you think much about trying to be creative in your writing? How does that work?
Well, I think being creative is the number one point you want to do. And for me, being creative means giving lots of forethought, giving lots of thought before you write, giving lots of thought, okay, what subject matter can I write about? Is there something that inspires me? So the title of the piece might inspire me, or seeing a beautiful sunset, or some foggy morning, some picture in nature something that might inspire you to write, or maybe a word or something might come. So, oh, okay, that word might inspire me to write. So the creativity for me comes with the fact that I spend a lot of time thinking about a particular piece before I sat down to write it, and kind of make little notes to myself about what I want to happen in that piece. And then I set out to write it.
As you go through that process, are you thinking this is going to be a grade 1 or a grade 2, or does that just evolve as you write?
Usually I kind of have an idea of what level I'm writing for. However, I try to tell people, if you think about the guidelines too much, your piece will become mundane. You have to be creative I think 90% of that is creativity, and put 10% on the guidelines of what grade level I'm writing for.
Very good. I've heard many people say that the worst guideline to start with is a totally blank page, and most people would have some criteria.
Yeah, that can be a problem. That's why I say I give it a lot of creative forethought. If I just go to the piano and say I'm going to write a grade 1 today, it might not happen. The creative muse might say I don't want to work today, and I'm not going to do it, and then I'm done for the day.
That's great. Are you mostly self-published, or we know you have a tremendous amount of things commercially published?
Right. My majority of my things are commercially published. Um, I don't have time to, I guess, to do that. And when I started, remember, there wasn't any internet, there wasn't any finale, there wasn't any Sibelius. We did the piece, I did the score, and then copied every part by hand. So I've gotten used to doing that. I still write at the piano. I still write by hand until I get the full score done. And then I give it to my copyist, and then he puts it in the finale and the things that the publisher would like. I've seen a lot of pieces, to me, that looked like they would click and paste together like word processing from one line here, and then we'll change it and put it up here. So when I'm writing, I won't let myself do that, because I'm constantly trying to be creative, not only with melody and harmony, but with form and with texture and colors and rhythms and all those type things.
That's much appreciated. I too am among the people that have played some of your work, so I really appreciate all that effort. What else would you like to tell us, either about yourself or your writing?
Well, I think you had one question on the paper about who inspired me to write. I guess, and the piece wasn't in middle school. It was actually a piece that I heard probably in high school, or maybe in graduate school. I heard a piece by Francis Macbeth called Math, and I lost it. From that time on, I wanted to write. I also heard a piece by David Holsinger called Haven Dance. And after I heard those two pieces, those are actually my two idols, because their music is exciting, it's rhythmically, it's moving, it's got a lot of energy. And those are the things I think that for me, that really set it off for me. And those things, once I heard those pieces, I really wanted to write music.
I'm sure the vast majority of band students out there totally agree with you and love the same thing. Thank you so much for your contributions to band music and for your work as an educator. We are the better off for your contributions. Thank you so much, Dr. Hilliard.
Well, thank you. And I hope this can be used, and students will be able to kind of connect, even though we're not there in person, but technology allows us to do a lot of things today.
Very good.
All right, thank you.
And I have stopped the recording. So once again, I appreciate it. I'm glad we got this done. This is
yeah. Well, let me ask you: has anybody else, you heard from anybody else yet, or any of the? I know we just made the proposal.
Sure, we have a public relations committee.
Yes.
That is Andrew Mrock from Kentucky is the
Okay.
chair, and then he's got a committee, and they're working on how best to do this. Some of the
Good.
first people that we're trying to get are the people that Phi Beta Mu has commissioned.
Good.
And figure that's, an important immediate tie-in. And then
Yeah.
as people do that, it will easily expand from there. I know he's got the list you provided for us, and they've already added some names to it.
Good.
But
Good.
at this point, we haven't had a public relations specific project for a few years.
Mhm.
So this one turned out to be a good one, and Andrew felt
Good.
excited about going with that.
Good. But sounds like you guys got everything under control. If you need anything, or just let me know.
Sure.
And we'll keep. I'll keep plugging away out here.
All right. You take care.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.